This episode is sponsored by Contentfy, a premium video editing and content repurposing service for busy content creators, influencers, brands, podcasters, YouTubers, and marketers. Contentfy provides unlimited end-to-end editing and repurposing services to help you get your video and audio content edited and repurposed quickly, easily, and reliably. Join other busy content creators, founders, brands, and marketers who now spend even more time creating while they take care of the rest. You no longer need to worry about spending hours editing anymore. Just create content, build your audience, and grow your business. If you're a content creator looking to save time and money, or looking to outsource your content marketing team, get your first free video edited now at Contentfy.co. If you'd like to sponsor the SaaS District podcast or recommend any guests that you think would be valuable to be on the show, visit horizoncapital.com/SaaS-podcast today. Thanks again, folks. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Akil Jabbar, and welcome back to another episode of SaaS District. In today's episode, we'll be talking about how to build a disruptive 500 startups project management AI SaaS for agencies and consultants. Today, we have our guest, Santi Biblioni, joining us. Santi is an entrepreneur based in the Valley, co-founder and CEO at COR, which is an AI and management software solution for creative professionals, agencies, and consultants. Prior to COR, he founded Balloon Group, one of Argentina's fastest growing digital agencies, among many other businesses. Today, he continues to grow COR and is a sales and fundraising mentor at 500 startups, as well as a speaker in big technology, advertising, and entrepreneurial events. So welcome, Santi. Super excited to have you on SaaS District Show today.
Thank you, Gil. I'm happy to.
Cool. So love to start off kind of talking about the business you're working on right now. What was the problem? What was the process? And, conceiving the idea to building COR, what was the opportunity and problem you were looking to solve that was so clear to you that needed to be built in the market?
Yeah. Akil, on our previous company, Balloon Group, we were an e-commerce agency. And what we did realize is that a lot of people on the creative space, on the agencies, work more than 12 hours a day and make a very low salary. And this is not because of the owners of the agency are keeping the difference. This is because the profit margins in the industry are getting lower every day. We believe this needs to change. And this is happening all across the globe with most of the professional services firms. We're mentioning consulting firms, software development shops, lawyers, accountants, all companies that sell hours. That's why we built COR as the next generation solution for creative and professional teams that intelligently tells you how to manage projects, teams, and finance in one single solution. Today, we're working with Fortune 500 companies and also very small agencies and medium consultants and studios as well in 19 different countries, with our mission to continue growing ourselves to help them being healthier businesses.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the, with the remote space, more and more shops are coming all around the world where they're competing on price, and people are thinking, okay, should I hire somebody in the US or I can hire somebody in the Philippines for a fraction of the price? So yeah, it's kind of a bottom to the race, unless, a race to the bottom. Unless you can kind of differentiate in different ways, which makes perfect sense. Can you just kind of, before getting more into COR, can you tell us a bit about the Argentinian Entrepreneurs Association, or ASEA? What was that opportunity that was needed for this type of association? Because I know you're based out of Argentina, now based in Silicon Valley. What do you see that as a good opportunity in Latin America?
Yeah, so at that time we created that NGO, that association, as a place for entrepreneurs to create public policies and to elevate those to the government, right? Argentinian was not a very good country to start to start ventures, to start companies because of all the problems that there were and all the barriers that there were for starting new businesses, right? So with ASEA, the Argentinian Entrepreneurs Association, what we did is building a space where all Argentinians that have a business can participate and sign for new public policies that will enable and empower professionals, right? And entrepreneurs.
Cool. So is that still running today, or is that shut down?
ASEA is a huge organization today with over 20,000 participants. Yeah, and it's growing every year. It's also part of a holding NGO, like an association that is a Latin American association for entrepreneurs. So ASEA is the Argentinian one. Then you will find another for Chile, for Uruguay, for Mexico, and moreover.
Cool. And what would you say was the process of getting, COR into the Valley, which you're based now, getting accepted into the 500 Startups Acceleration Program? For maybe people in our audience who are considering that path, how hard was it to get into, and how beneficial would you say it's been to the overall development of COR?
That's a great question. It was 500 Startups really helped us a lot. We had a great mentor there. I mean, we have a couple of great mentors there. I remember one, Nishkor, when he was our sales mentor. I remember we joined 500 Startups with almost with no revenue, like very, very small company. It was like, if I'm not wrong, like 3 years ago. And we were selling to very small companies with no contracts, with monthly payments. And so no contracts, monthly payments, free trials, and a very low license, very low license pricing. So we ended up, after 500 Startups, selling twice the price, making 3-year contracts, and having every company paying annual upfront payments. And instead of selling to very small and medium agencies, we started to selling to the largest creative and advertising agencies in the world. So that changed us the story completely. We started 500 Startups being an SMB focused kind of solution. And we ended up 4 months after being an enterprise solution, making a good amount of revenue and with a very high month-over-month growth. And what is best, financing ourselves with our clients' revenue, as everyone was paying annual upfront payments. It was a tough, Akil. It was a tough move to come from Latin America and enter into 500 Startups in Silicon Valley. As you know, probably like 1% acceptance rate. So 2,500 people, like companies applying on our batch. We were the only like Hispanic American company that got into the batch. So, I mean, it was not an easy one.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, what would you say differentiated, you guys? Do you have any idea like what, made you guys get into that 1%? And then adding to your other point, which was around, positioning your business, on who you focus on your target market. What kind of, net increase or what change did you see when you focus from, change from SMB focus to those enterprise? Was it, dramatical increase or was it just kind of, incremental over time that you saw?
Great. So answer to this one, it was a drastic increase. I mean, it was a high one. We started growing. Our churn become better. Companies were more committed with us. Yeah, and our MRR, like our monthly revenue, become like grow exponentially.
Nice.
So, and in terms of differentiators, I think I remember when I was in Argentina, kind of exiting my previous company and applying with COR as an idea to 500 startups in Silicon Valley. And I remember they refused. I mean, they rejected to accept us on the batch. So I said, okay, no worries. I mean, I continued working on this new venture that was COR back then, like 4 years ago. And we decided, the company, we decided to move to the Valley in order to build a very successful company from where every technology company and where the talent, the capital, the knowledge and everything is based and is mostly here in the Valley. So we decided to move here, and the following year we applied again to 500 startups. And I remember they answered back saying, "Hey, Santi, thanks for applying. We would like to have a call with you." And I said, like, "Hey, I can meet you at the office." This was, of course, before pandemic, right? So I can meet you at the office. And I went to 500 startups office there in San Francisco, in downtown San Francisco. And they said, "Hey, I mean, why are you here if you were refused last year?" And I said, "Hey, man, like, we are going to be a very big company with or without you. And I would love to join 500 startups, but this is not a matter of deciding to move to Silicon Valley or not by being accepted or not in 500 startups." So I think that kind of the ambition that these 7 directors or venture partners saw on us as a team was one of the things that they said, "Hey, these guys are going for something big." So
love it. So you guys are aiming for the moon. You guys are now, I think, a VC-backed SaaS company. Can you share a little bit, how much have you guys raised to date? How many rounds? And where are you guys in terms of size today overall?
We are today a team of 50 people. I think it's 52. We are selling to Fortune 500 companies and also SMBs in 19 different countries. Although our presence is in the US and Latin America mostly. We have also a team in Australia, as we are starting to expand there as well. We raised $3 million as of now, and we are looking to raise our next round anytime soon in a little bit over $10 million. So that's the size of the company.
Cool. And that'll be your Series A, I'm imagining. You guys just raised your seed round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Talking about the AI side, because I think that's obviously a hot topic a lot of people might be interested in. How do you see the need for leveraging AI to help creative and professional teams, and how do you see that functioning with what you're doing right now with that COR?
Yeah, Akil, no one likes to log hours manually, right? There's no person that would like to go and do manual inputs on their time tracking, right? Also, no one wants to create tasks manually or do financial reports manually. So that's a great place to apply AI on our end. I mean, to facilitate and automate all the things that people do not want to do. Also, why do we call ourselves next generation solution? Because most of the tools that you have in place today are tools that you need to be proactive to analyze the data that is in there. At COR, we do proactive suggestions on how to manage your projects, your teams, and finance. like, hey, Akil, this project is not going to be delivered on time, and it's not going to be profitable if you don't do this and that, right? Mm-hmm. So we help people and teams run profitable projects and to deliver on time.
Makes sense.
And there are many different ways to apply AI on this industry.
Sure. And would you say, this tool specifically, for every kind of creative business or agency? I know you mentioned your guys are focused SMB and also enterprise, but is there like a specific range? I'm assuming, team size that COR is best used, and you might see some increase in profitability by using it.
Yeah. So you will see COR is helping today teams of 8 people, 10 people, up to Fortune 500 companies with thousands of clients. But in their offices, they have probably like 500 people, 400 people per office, right? And I think the bigger you are, the biggest ROI you will find, as we automate a lot of manual tasks that will save you a lot of time. So the more people you have committed on your payroll, the more hours you're going to save, right? So that's on one side. On the other hand, on one hand, you have like saving time with automation. And on the other hand, you have visibility that you were not able to have before. We show you we show you automatically and in real time if you're losing money with any project or with any client. And these kind of companies like agencies, consulting firms, software development shops, and more, they are running 50 projects per client, right? So it's very difficult, if not with COR, to have visibility on profitability.
This is really about efficiency, right? And that's where the drive is. The more people you have, the more efficient you are, not wasting, hours on projects that are less profitable. And then you know how to tweak it kind of going forward. So it just gets better and better over time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we apply machine learning on understanding how much time does it take to a person to deliver a task, right? For example, Akil designs banners. So how much time does it take to Akil to design a banner for this platform? And how much time does it take to Mary to design a website or this size of this website size, right? So you start learning from this, from previous experiences. So any time you're creating a new project, we can predict how much, like, what's the profitability that you're going to have, if you're going to deliver on time or not, based on previous experiences of these precise users.
Okay, so it's not actually, you're not using data from all users to give you. So if one client agency is using the banners and another client's using banners as well, are you taking the data from the others to feed, say, okay, this should take you an hour because based off all this data we have, or is it just based on your data and how you work? You
start using COR with everyone's data. I mean, with an average that will tell you, hey, Akil, banner will take, 4 hours. But once you start using it, it will learn from you.
Got it. So then it personalizes it. Cool.
Yeah.
So other than the AI, you're in a very competitive space in the SaaS industry, right? How have you differentiated COR from many of the other, project management platforms? Because there's a bunch out there, and I think there's more coming out every single day, right?
Yeah. So I love people using project management tools like Asana or Trello or Basecamp or Jira or Monday or whatever, because that enables us to make a better, a more smoothie change to COR, right? Why we don't compete with those tools? We are very different. I mean, those tools are great for task management and collaboration, but we are a vertical solution. We are an end-to-end solution, an all-in-one solution for professional services business. you can use horizontal task management tools for whatever, an ice cream shop, if you're selling shoes, whatever. I mean, we have the best solution for companies that sell hours. If you're selling hours, you need to use COR. If you're selling other stuff, you have a bunch of tools where you can choose from.
Got it. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, so you're more of a full solution than rather than for smaller tasks. Talking about kind of the growth strategy, I'd love to hear kind of more sharing with different marketers or founders listening in. How are you kind of strategizing, and what has worked in terms of scaling your growth with COR so far? What has worked best for your business model?
You mean what made us grow very, like, what took us here?
Yeah. So once you made that pivot, what's the marketing and growth strategy that's worked well so far?
Great. So for us, as we were financing a lot ourselves with clients paying up, doing annual upfront payments, we at one time we decided to continue growing. We are doing today 8.5% month over month growth. Well, we think it's good, but it's not great. And the good thing here, the good news is that we know how to put this over 10%, and we will see a 10% growth in the next 2 to 3 months. So that's when we are raising our new round, right? What we defined is great unit economics with a great lifetime value versus CAC. We have today over 20 times lifetime value versus CAC. What is kind of crazy for the industry we are in, and most of our go-to-market strategy came out from outbound. What we do is we have a very specific industry we target, that is professional services firms, and from that we decided to start with our first addressable market, which is creative agencies. Right? So within creative agencies, we find our ideal ICP, who is the CFO. This buyer persona has specific pains, but we know them very well because of our previous experience on agencies. And what we do is cold email to this person, asking how this person is solving X, Y, and Z. And we show them 3 success stories from other companies like his or hers, and ask them for a quick conversation, a quick call. So then the SDR, the sales development representative, does the discovery call, where you will probably know this very well. They discover budget, authority, need, and time. And after this is qualified, this goes to the account executive. And we open the opportunity, the CRM, we negotiate, and we close. We are having today 84 days sales cycle.
Nice.
And a conversion rate over 30% in some markets.
30% from initial kind of list or after kind of qualification?
From qualified.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, since we open the deal and we close it, we close 1 out of 3.
That's really good. I mean, generally I hear kind of around the 20, 25. So if you're up there 30, you're on the higher end. So it's a good job. So you guys are very account-based marketing, outbound. So you're positioning all that in the first email, right? Just to be clear, this is the kind of pains you're solving. These are how we're solving it for others. Let's have a call. Are you guys, is that accurate?
Yeah, of course. At the same time, we do. We build a lot of success stories with our clients, as to give more credibility and to help more to the enterprise clients we are targeting, right? And then we do more when we do kind of like massive and inbound stuff for the smaller end, for the smaller companies, and that works as well.
Cool. So you mentioned, closing rate, days to closing, LTV to CAC. what are some other metrics or KPIs you guys are paying attention to on a weekly or daily basis and that are helping you kind of make improvements to help you guys scale?
So, Akil, we started the company working with OKRs. But before OKRs, we had a bunch of KPIs. Then we moved to OKRs, and it was very confusing. We were measuring a lot of stuff, and we remembered 500 Startups recommendation to go with the one metric that matters, the OMTM. And we put three, so one metric that matters on the revenue side of the company, one metric that matters on the product side. And then we have like one metric for when it comes to customer satisfaction, right? So what we measure, our top three KPIs today are ARR, NRR, net revenue retention. Right. Yeah, and churn. So yeah, and then if we want to do a double click, we go into month-over-month growth, and then the KPIs we already gone through, like LTV to CAC and more.
Love it. Yeah, that's super important. I think churn is huge. I mean, if you can solve churn at the top, I mean, that's product, that's activation, that's a lot of things, right? So just that churn, that number alone tells you a lot about a business.
Sorry. I forgot to say NPS, right? So
NPS, yes.
NRR. So it's MRR or ARR on the revenue side, and churn on the customer success side. But NRR is like a double click on the revenue side. Then we have, so it's ARR, NPS, and churn.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's something a lot of people skip and don't pay attention to. But setting up an NPS, I think, is huge. I think if you guys are listening today and you don't have an NPS, set that up today. I think you're going to get a lot of value from what your customers tell you. And
NPS for us was was critical. I mean, it helped us change a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talk about what kind of worked well. Can you share any failures or coming to growth experiments that maybe you've tried in the past that didn't work? Whether growth, paid ads, other kind of SEO, any other strategies you've tried and just didn't work?
There are a lot.
A lot, okay.
So things that we did that didn't work. I can start with you mentioned paid media, for example. We started. So first of all, we built a robust solution for the enterprise market, but we were selling to the SMB market. And we started with free trials, and our product was not prepared for being self-serve, right? And we invested in paid media to get a lot of people, a lot of leads on this free trial. So that was also another mistake. So we did the free trial and we invest on getting leads for that free trial. That helped us to learn we received a lot of inputs, but I wouldn't say it was a good move. I mean, if I would start another company today, I wouldn't, of course, I would decide rather going like sales-led company, sales growth-led, or are you doing like product-led growth or sales-led growth? You need to decide one channel, and then after you found continued progress on that channel, then that distribution channel, then you can think of others, but not at first.
So you focus on sales-led growth, but your your marketing was based on product-led, right? Is what you're saying, and it wasn't a match. And now what you're saying is, if you were to do it again, like if you're going to run paid ads and drive sales, you've got to be really, really focused on product-led, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's totally accurate. Yeah,
I agree with that. So this has been fantastic, Santi. I appreciate you kind of digging in and giving us kind of the real details of what's going on behind the scene. Switching gears, I want to get into the kind of the rapid fire questions here, and a little bit more personal. So, what's one advice you wish you had known and you would tell your 25-year-old self, knowing what you know today?
Nice. One advice I will give to myself. Well, probably that's the one we mentioned about how to start, like either to choose one distribution channel. Right. That's one thing. Other stuff I will tell myself is that PR and media doesn't get you so far if it's not the right place to be at. Right. I mean, I remember myself on our previous company. I was excited to be on a lot of places, and it helped on credibility, but it wasn't for sure the best ROI or or inbound channel, right? So that's one thing. That's other thing, and
no, that's good. So, I mean, if you were to do that again, would you just focus on a few channels that you think have a bigger impact, or something who instead of being everywhere?
Hey, I now, like more grown up, I like when the company speaks for the entrepreneur rather the entrepreneur for the company. That's the thing.
Let the results speak for themselves. That's how it should be, right? Stop making noise when you haven't built anything. Yeah, that's what people love to do. Cool. What are some of the biggest challenges you're currently facing in order to continue to grow COR? What keeps you up at night these days?
Today, I'm very happy on the team we built. We have great directors and great people working on the team. I love the culture we built as a company. I'm proud of working where I work, and I learn a lot from the people I work with. What keeps me up at night, we are here for the Premier League. And so, although we're doing good, we want to be great, and that's where I put my focus on being great, and helping the team, or trying to help the team to be great on what they're doing. So that's where I focus myself.
Nice. Santi, who would you say, or what have you say are the best 3 resources? This can be books, or it can be people, such as people you follow, who you'd say have been the most instrumental to your success over these last few years. I know you mentioned, some mentors at 500 Startups. Any others that you recommend people check out?
Yeah, if you're looking for sales advice, I would recommend you to read 2 books. One is the Acceleration Formula, the Sales Acceleration Formula, from Mark Roberge, former Chief Revenue Officer at HubSpot, and Predictable Revenue from Eric Ross,
Aaron Ross,
the former Chief Revenue Officer at Salesforce. So Aaron Ross. So those 2 books are very good, and when it comes to people, I've always received good and of course also bad mentorship as well, but very good mentorship and very good advices from some people, and there are probably some of them that they don't know how I appreciate their advice. I remember my father telling me when I was 21, saying, "Hey, Santi, if you want to build," because I was looking forward to build my own company, and he said, like, hey, Santi, I'm not sure if that's the right move. Probably you want to like own some experience on bigger companies and then start your own. But if you're really looking forward to start your company, I think that before getting married, before having kids, although I was very young at the time, but what he was saying is, then when you start having a lot of responsibilities under your own, then making that jump, it's tougher, right? So that was one key thing that helped and empower all the following, the rest of the things, and made that happen, right? Then Then I have Marcos Galperin, who's the founder and CEO of Mercado Libre. He was our first investor. Mercado Libre is like the Amazon for Latin America. It's a $100 billion company in NASDAQ. And Marcos is the most successful entrepreneur in the technology space in Latin America. And the fact of he just by the small fact of helping us when we were just starting a new business, that gave us a lot of power and that gave us a lot of energy to continue looking for big fishes like Marcos, but here in Silicon Valley.
Makes sense. Yeah, I guess sometimes having that person, who has that credibility, gives you that hope and belief, just gives you that confidence to continue doing what you're doing and validate that you're doing the right thing, right? And that means a lot. So, yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Cool. Santi, what does success mean to you today? Whether it can be personally, financially, business, life, there's no right answer.
For me, success is being happy, Success is enjoying the path, and you can find happiness in different ways. For me, success is being happy, and I feel very happy, and I feel blessed by the family I have, the family we are building with my wife, the friends I have, the parents I have, the sister I have, and yeah, and of course, working on something that is very noble. That is, we're here to help creative and professional teams have a better lifestyle by enabling their companies to be more profitable, to make that distribution of the money within the company, right? As we saw that firsthand at the very beginning, we saw a lot of creative people working a lot of hours and making almost no money compared to the other professional colleagues they had, right? So doing novel things, for me, mission is our mission is very important. As working is where we spend probably a lot of the time. Most of the time, we are awake.
Absolutely, yeah, that's super important to love what you do, and when you walk into work or your business, you actually enjoy what you do, and you believe in what you do every day. Santi, this has been fantastic. Guys, just who are listening in, Santi was super generous to offer anybody listening in a promo code of 20% off for our listeners who want to try out COR. Just go to projectcore.com. Just mention the SaaS District podcast to anybody on their team, and they'll give you guys 20% off to try it out for your own company. So appreciate that, Santi.
Pleasure.
What are kind of your future plans for COR, and where can an audience get in touch with you to learn more about you?
People can reach me out through LinkedIn. I think that's the best way. If most of the time I do not respond to messages from people like that are not personalized. Like if you're reaching out, if it's outbound sales, it's mostly sure I wouldn't respond. But if you tell me, hey, I listened to you on the SaaS District podcast. I would like to chat with you. I read every message that I receive.
Love it. Okay, we'll add your LinkedIn link to our show notes so people can check out and say hi and give you some love. All right, thank you so much, Santi. Appreciate you jumping on SaaS District show today. This was great. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Akil. Bye-bye.
All right, cheers. Thank you all for watching this episode and joining SaaS District today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for future episodes where we interview top leaders in the SaaS industry. If you're a SaaS company looking to grow and unlock the true value of your business, get in touch with us at Horizon Capital, and myself or one of our consultants will provide a free assessment to help you get there and hit your goals. If you have any feedback or suggestions for this podcast, please comment down below and help us improve our content for you all. Thanks again and see you on the next one.